Alright guys, welcome to the Daily Shlog. It is Tuesday, we're back at it, and my first job of the day is checking in piles and piles of parts and tires and all that good stuff. Man, answering the phone. Let's start with there. Highland Cycles, this is Morgan. I offer free. I'd love to show people around. If you're, if we can make it work out, I'd love to show some folks around. Ooh, yeah, for sure. If if you can secure a bike and all that, and you want to get a hold of me, I'd love to show you around here. Awesome, sounds good, man. Sweet. There's a guy maybe coming out here in September or wants to take a ride, and maybe I can get a chance to show him around. That'd be super cool. So let's take a look at what Mr. Sheets. Look how angry he is right now. Oh yes, the head shake. So much anger. Now, installing a Recluse Radius X or Radius CX in Miss Anderson's 300 Husqvarna. So that's pretty cool. Looks like he's actually getting relatively close to having that part done. The clutch part that'll be doing the slave cylinder and all that stuff. He's already changed some tires. He's actually works for a living, unlike me. I just stare at this camera and answer the phone. Zach is the actual operation here at Highland Cycles. And thank goodness he's here. Yeah, so I'm going to check a bunch of parts in. If there's anything super cool, I'll show you guys. Then I'm going to get to work too. So let's get on with the Daily Shlog. Alright guys, time to get to work here finally. The Honda Ascot is back, but fortunately not because of the original problem. Seems to be starting well with the carburetor work we did, so I'm excited about that. But now we got to get the front wheel off. And while you would think that would be relatively easy, this one's being a pain. So the customer's actually a pretty good mechanic, and he was changing tires. He did the rear tire, no problem, got it done. And then the front tire, he started backing out the axle, the pinch bolt. He already took the pinch bolt. He's backing that out, and after it comes out a ways, because it's actually threaded into this side, comes out a ways, it starts to spread the forks apart. And I think I figured out what's going on. He looked, and I guess that's kind of a problem with these. I don't know. These old Ascots, they've had that issue before, and I think I found what's causing it. So let's get this thing up in the air and take a look. All right, guys, so let's take a look at this. Let me show you what's going on, what I think is going on before we actually get in here. So you can see this is the size of the axle out here. It goes through and it stays that size, and then it gets smaller, and it goes back up. And I think what's happening is, as this backs out, this piece right here, there must be a burr or something on it that's hanging up on this part of the fork. So let's start by backing this out and see if it starts to spread right when it hits that. If that's the case, then what we can do is maybe take some emery cloth and try to file that down and get it out. And then if that doesn't work, we can drive a screwdriver or something in here to spread that a little bit, get it out, and then take a look at it and try to fix it all up. So I'm feeling in there, and it feels like mainly there's just kind of some buildup. I'm gonna get some emery cloth, clean that before I even try to get it through. All right, so you can see that this is further out now, but this hasn't changed that much. So we need to somehow open that up. There's something going on inside there that I can't really see. It's trying to come. It's definitely further out than it was, but it's not coming all the way out. So I'm gonna get a big fat screwdriver and try to drive it in here to hopefully pry that open a little bit and see what happens. There we go. Gonna try to go a little further in with the screwdriver, see if we can open it up a little bit more, get that thing out, but it has to come out. So One way or the other, we're gonna get it out of there. Winning! We got her. Let's see what's up with it. So, it's hard to tell, but it looks like someone else had tried to had maybe the same problem. You can kind of see this will focus. There's also kind of a ridge on that, and I don't know why. We're gonna take that off. We're gonna sand that off and get it all nice and smooth. Change the tire and be good to go. Sweet. Sometimes it takes a hammer to win, but it's all right. All right, guys, so I'm gonna clean this thing up. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do that. Basically just a die grinder with some red Scotch-Brite Roll-Lock on it, and we're gonna clean this up because I don't know if you can see, but there's like a little lip and then there's a dinger right there. It's really hard to tell. And anyway, I think someone else messed this up in the past, and then this lip is really what was hanging it up. So we got just a die grinder, red Scotch-Brite, get our safety squints on. All right, feels nice and clean and smooth. That should work though. Let's go see how that works. Bing. Just like it's supposed to. That was awesome. So, turns out just some either imperfection or someone messed it up before or whatever, who knows, or just life because it is an old bike. So we got that cleaned up, works great. Sometimes you got to bring the hammer and the punch out and get things done because the reality is it has to come apart if you're going to put a tire on it, and it had to have a tire on it because it was old. So sometimes you just got to use brute force and you know, fix it later. Fortunately, that didn't take much fixing. We're all good to go. Put the pinch bolts back in it, get this thing off. Next project, guys, is the venerable Kehin PWK carburetor full rebuild. So stick with us. I'm gonna get to that here in just a second. That kind of response. All right, guys. So the angriest man is getting ready to finish up working on this 450 RX minus the rear linkage bearings, which we're still waiting on, but he's doing fork seals, and then Mr. Dugan's bike will be ready to rock and roll to go racing. We're making a cup of coffee over there, highly important even on these hot days. I have a theory actually, and maybe you guys can like either tell me I'm crazy or corroborate my theory. I feel like drinking hot coffee on a hot day honestly makes you feel a little cooler because it's so hot that then the 100 degree, 95 degree temperature outside doesn't feel so bad. That's probably absolutely wrong, but that's how I feel about it. So, and Zach is so filled with the anger and rage of 1,000 volcanoes that nothing actually affects him. See, look how mad. Look at the anger. See? Yeah. See? It doesn't matter. You can pour lava down his throat and it doesn't matter. So, yeah, we're getting ready to take care of that. Got the clutch in. Tori's lovely 927. He just finished this one. This is actually kind of an interesting project. We've had plastics and parts here for this thing for like 9 months, but the bike wasn't here, and he paid for them and everything, so no big deal. But Zach basically completely rebuilt this bike. Not the motor or anything, but carburetor, forks, tires, plastics, bars, everything. Anyway, we went through the whole thing, so that's all ready to rock and roll. That's gonna be good. Mr. Hild will be ready to rock and roll. So now I am working on a carburetor from a Beta 300RR, I believe. So, whoa, oh, watch out. Burning hot water. Hang on. Coffee break. Oh, look at that. That is going to be tasty. Again, we can thank Mr. Brady Metter for that. Thank you, Brady. I really appreciate it. So yeah, PWK carburetor off of a Beta 300R, full rebuild. So let's start taking that thing apart. Ooh, trivia question. These screws, what is the actual size of that screw? Comment below. First person to get that right, I'll pin your comment to the top. What is the actual size? It's a Phillips, but what is the actual size? So this gentleman that owns this was not having any problems. Well, he did have some gas leak or something like that, but it wasn't a big problem. But the bike's a few years old. He's run lots and lots of gas through it, so he figured, yeah, let's just go ahead and fully rebuild this thing. And I thought, that's a great idea. So we're gonna do everything in here. I got a full kit, all balls kit. These are actually pretty good. All balls doesn't always make the best things, but these ones are actually pretty good. And yeah, we should be able to rebuild all of it, put it all back together, and shouldn't have any problems. Part of that, though, is going to be putting her in the old ultrasonic. All right, got everything apart. Go take it over, drop it in the ultrasonic for its spa treatment, and then we'll be back here in just a bit and put it all back together. All right, we're back. We got the carburetor all shiny and happy. Finish blowing it off here. Alright, so there's obviously a few things I'm going to reuse here. This cool guy air screw adjustable thing for sure. Probably these jets, because the jets that come in these kits are all sea-level jets always. So those aren't going to be helpful at all. So I won't be using the jets out there. We'll be using the main jet and pilot jet that we have. And it was running fine. The jetting was right. We just need to clean everything out. So just so you guys know, I guess what a well-running Beta 300RR. He has a 35 pilot and a 58 main, or excuse me, a 158 main. I don't have the needle here because he has that probably hanging on the bike with the slide because it was okay. So we got everything blown out. I tell everybody this, every dude this, because my brother told me this when I was going to have a kid, because he had kids before me. He's older. He's like, Morgan, I'm going to tell you something that no one's going to say. He's laughing. I'm like, what? He's like, babies suck. They absolutely suck. Oh, yeah. Well, you can't say that. He's like, oh, I'm saying it. I got two of them. And they suck. After that, the kids are awesome. Yeah. When they're like 18 months, 2 years old, they become really cool. Yeah. But until then, dude, they totally suck. Yeah. Babies totally suck. They're worth the suck,
Yeah.
But they suck in every way. Like, so one of the cool things about this kit from All Balls is that it comes with little hex head screws instead of the Phillips head. That's pretty cool. I also like using Allen's, but these are pretty neat. They're like a 6mm hex. You can also use a flat blade on them if you want, but that's pretty slick. Sweet. All ready to rock and roll. Looks like brand spanky new. That's what we like. And that's the thing, guys. If you're cleaning a carburetor, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is, well, a couple. Is first of all, take it all the way off the bike, even though it's a giant pain in the butt, even though you probably maybe could get the thing done without doing it, just take it off the bike. If you don't have already, get an ultrasonic cleaner. You know, ours, I think the last time I checked, like $200 something. It's a pretty big one. I'll put a link in the description for them from Amazon. They're awesome. I think I paid like $180 for ours. They were a little bit less when I got it. But it makes short work of getting all the gunk and stuff out. And then just be careful. Just don't over tighten things. Just be careful. Take your time. And when you do that, you'll be ready to rock and roll. I just got a note actually from a customer who I cleaned their FCR carburetor, put a new mid-body gasket in it. They've been struggling with that for a while. They brought it to me. We got it all done. They called me and said it fired up right away. First kick, thing runs great. So it's just about taking your time. It's not very complicated, honestly. But you just take your time, make sure all the passages are clean, and you'll be stoked. Right on, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for another daily Shlog. I hope that was interesting. I know that wasn't a ton of stuff. We had a whole bunch of people roll in towards the end of the day that ended up chit-chatting with way too much. They're thinking about moving here to Montrose from California because of how awesome it is to ride dirt bikes here. So that's super rad. Guys, if you're interested at all, if you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. It does mean a lot, and it really, really helps us a ton. We're trying to spread this gospel of two wheels all the way around the world. We may have even reached Zach Sheets' wife. I like to believe that she's considering a dirt bike mainly because of this channel. That's what we're saying, at least. Anyway, I love you guys. You got to get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and as always, I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes!